Ukraine's audacious cross-border strikes on Russian territory have ignited a fresh chapter in the conflict, with Kyiv now openly seeking the deployment of long-range missiles. Our next report explores why Kyiv is desperately trying to persuade London to allow it to use Storm Shadow cruise missiles they have in their disposal.
Ukraine's incursion inside Russian territory tilting the scales of the war. Russia is stepping up efforts to push back the Ukrainian troops from its soil. Ukraine is now urging the UK to allow it to use Storm Shadow missiles against Russian targets, believing this could be a decisive factor in its military strategy. However, the request has sparked intense debate among Western powers, given the risks of escalation of the conflict. Last week, Ukrainian drones targeted 4 Russian airfields in what has been described as the most extensive attack on the war to date. These airfields play a critical role in Russia's ability to launch its assault on Ukraine and launch deadly glide bombs against Ukrainian troops. While Ukraine has already received permission to employ certain advanced Western weaponry inside Russia, including British Challenger 2 tanks and American HIMARS rocket launchers, the request for long-range missile strikes represents a significant escalation. Western governments have so far resisted such appeals.
This obviously is an escalation, and if we see this in the context that NATO effectively has gone to war against Russia, the world's largest nuclear power, it makes a lot of sense if the Americans are a bit cautious and attempt to pull back on the leash, especially on the British, who are a bit too enthusiastic about this.
Ukraine's military strategists argue that access to Storm Shadow missiles could dramatically enhance the quality and frequency of strikes on critical Russian assets. The Franco-British missile's advanced capabilities, including a bunker-busting warhead and low-altitude, terrain-hugging flight path, make it a formidable weapon against heavily fortified targets and challenging air defense systems. However, the question remains, will the West agree to Ukraine's request, or will concerns over escalation continue to dictate the cautious approach taken thus far? Bureau Report, WION World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.